What's up, YouTube family? Mark here with another video banger. I hope you all are doing great out here. Thank you all so much for subscribing and checking out our video content. Man, I'm excited to drop some daily motivation, daily bangers for you all. So I'm going to talk to you all about you just hate your 9 to 5. You don't like it. You ready to quit, or you've already quit your 9 to 5. You're sick of the 9 to 5. So this is what you need to do. I'm going to tell you what you need to do in this video. And before I get into that real quick, I just want to also let you all know, for those of you that have been following me for a very long time, I have merged the channel. I've changed the channel. And so if you're looking for any health and wellness, any digestive health, any of that type of stuff, health and wellness tips, oral hygiene tips and things like that, there'll be a link below in the description box where you can access that YouTube channel. So everything is going to be moved over to that YouTube channel. So check the description box below to get access to that other YouTube channel for that information. So back to the program. You are sick of your 9 to 5 grind. Okay, let's talk about that. I've been there. I've been there before, right? I've worked on jobs, many jobs that I probably was ashamed of, that I didn't like, that I felt like I was better than. I've worked at jobs where I didn't get the treatment that I deserved. I've worked at jobs where I felt like I was putting my best foot forward, um, trying to go over and beyond for that company, and they did was just kick me in the butt, right? I've been there. I've been on that end of the deal. And maybe you are. Maybe you're fed up because you don't have enough money to pay all of your bills. All right. Maybe you're sick of the 9 to 5 because you don't like who you work with. Maybe you're sick of the 9 to 5 grind right now because you don't like the work that you do, right? You just grabbed a job because it was something that you needed at the time to help you try to pay some bills so that you could stay afloat, right? So that you can provide for your family. Um, Maybe you got caught up in a situation and you just had to grab something. Maybe you have a record, right? Maybe you have, a felony on your record and you feel like, hey, this is all that you can get. This is all that you're able to be able to walk into to be able to make some money. Whatever the case may be, right? Whatever the case may be, whatever the situation, um, I just want you to know, man, that God got you. God got you. You have to know that. You have to believe that. In Genesis, the first chapter, I believe is verse 27, it talks about us being made in the image of God. Well, what does that mean? If we're made in the image of God, that's a powerful thing. That's nothing to sleep on. That's nothing to uh, kind of toss on the back burner. That's You shouldn't be forgetting that. You shouldn't forget who you are. And I think a lot of times, man, people forget who they are. You forget you're made in the image of God. And we let life punk us around. We let life throw us around. We let life uh, try to make us compromise. A lot of you are compromising, you know what I'm saying? Because the stress levels, you're doing things that you're not proud of, right? You're in positions that you're not happy with. You're not making the money that you want to make or should be making, right? Your value, your worth is more than what you've settled for, right? So how do you overcome this? How do you get out of this, right? You have to really believe that you are made in the image of God. And when you are made in the image of God, what did God do? In Genesis, God spoke things into existence. And tip number one, you have to start speaking things into existence. It doesn't matter how it looks. It does not matter when you wake up in the morning. Yeah, it's going to be the same reality, but you speak, man, better's coming my way. Man, I will be above and not beneath. Look, I will be a lender and not a borrower. I'm not going to be the person always borrowing from people or asking people for money because I don't have, right? These are all kingdom principles, right? That you have access to, okay? And so with that being said, you have to start speaking it. So that's number one. You got to get rid of negativity. Number two, you got to get rid of negative people that surround you, right? I've worked jobs that was very difficult. The hardest job that I've worked, and this is for me because I've only had certain experience. But I remember working at a company called Johnson Controls. I worked at Johnson Controls for like 2 weeks. And I quit after 2 weeks. It was a factory job, and they have many different divisions, but the division that I went into was a plant that makes batteries. And I was on a product line that makes boat batteries. And my job was to wear a respirator for 12 hours in a hot factory or a plant, right? Standing on this little mat, palletizing these thick metal like battery blocks so that they can go down the line to go to the welder so the welder can seal the actual container of the negative and the positive battery terminals onto the panel. So if you guys know what a battery looks like, it has to be welded on. That black case that you see in your car is welded on by a welder. So anyway, my role was just to sit there and just let the machine feed me, and I would stack these plates and feed them, stack these plates and feed them. So I would do that over and over and over and over, repetition, until it was break time. And I had never done it before, but I was desperate. I needed a job. I needed to provide for my family. And so I felt obligated. I felt like, okay, the word was, hey, I can make $1,100, $1,200, $15 a week. But little did I know, man, you had to work your tail off for it, right? And little did I know that um, I was working around freaking lead. Lead is very poisonous, right? And that's the whole point of wearing a respirator for 12 hours. And little did I know, I had to take a shower before I left for the shift for the day so that I wouldn't contract and bring lead home to my family, right? And so that was one of the worst jobs. I never forget, after the very first day, my forearms started swelling up. It had knots on my forearms from me doing the same repetition of me palletizing and stacking these battery plates into the machine, going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, manual labor, doing this kind of work to be able to provide. And I hated it. And I said, you know what? I broke down crying. I'll never forget. I broke down crying. I said, man, I'm better than this, man. There's got to be an easier way to make money than me to be out here hustling or trying to sell dope or trying to do something stupid, compromising myself, right, and jeopardizing my freedom. And a lot of people will do that. A lot of you will jeopardize your freedom. A lot of you will jeopardize yourself, right, to make a dollar. And in the end, you have to live with the consequences of, sickness, disease, or going to prison for a long time. So you have to ask yourself, is it worth it? For some people, it is. But for me, it wasn't. And so what I want to share with you also is, how do you overcome, man, when you're in a position where you feel like, you better, you want more out of life, you hate your job, but you feel like you need it, you feel desperate. Always remember, you all, again, you are made in the image of God. Never be desperate for anything, but go to him, go to God, man, with a sincere heart. Yeah, you ain't perfect. None of us are perfect, but go to him with a sincere heart. Talk to him. Let him know what you need. The Bible tells us that he already know what we need before we ask. So you probably ask, well, then you probably say, well, why do I need to ask? Because he want to see your faith. He want to see your relationship with him. And also, don't just go to God when you want something or need something, right? Have fellowship with him. Talk to him. Ask him for advice. Lord, what should I do today? Where should I go? All right. So that's another key point I wanted to leave with you all. Also, you got to identify your purpose, right? Um, I ran around in a space where I was unhappy for a long, long time until I identified my purpose. A lot of people are 40, 50, 60 years old, and they still have not yet identified their purpose. The purpose, as I said in Genesis 1, right? I think verse 27, it says we're made in the image of God. Well, God made all of us in his image, but all of us have a purpose. And sometimes the things that we've been through in our lives, or the things that we've done, right, even as a child, are connected to our purpose. And so you got to be able to identify what your purpose is. Normally, your purpose is something that you've been doing for a long time. Some of you have a purpose to cook. Some of you have a purpose for fashion. Some of you have a purpose to be able to talk to other people, right, and help them out of situations or their problems. Some of you have all types of different gifts. Some of you have musical gifts, musical purpose, right? Some of you have the gift of help. Your gift is just like, hey, I feel fulfilled when I'm helping somebody, right? So some of you have to be able to identify with your purpose, what that is, what that looks like, and then begin to ask God to help navigate you into your purpose. Because once you're in your purpose, once you reach your purpose, or once you're in the direction of where that is, you don't have to continue to fight with these jobs, or you're not going to continue to go to a job that you hate, or a job that you don't like, or a job that you don't feel fulfilled. Because when you're in your purpose, you're that much more valuable. And when you're that much more valuable, guess what? The income will follow. All right? The income will follow value. Always remember that. If you want to know how to get to the next level, if you want to know how to break away from making minimum wage, most people make more than minimum wage, but we do have some people that just make minimum wage, right? We have people in other countries that don't make a lot of money, right? But start getting in tune with who you are and your purpose, and then start focusing in on your purpose, right? So if you like helping people, you could start a YouTube channel with just helping people, just talking to them about whatever it is, or talking to them about the things that you've been through, and providing a solution to help them. All right. And so there's so many different ways, man, that you guys can kind of break free from the 9 to 5. You know what I'm saying? So if you hate your job, again, understand this. It is God in Deuteronomy chapter 8, I believe verse 17. In Deuteronomy chapter 8, verse 17, um, it is God who gives us the ability to create wealth, not another man. It's God. Because guess what? It is Him that gives you the ability to walk, talk, see, taste, touch, feel, sit down, stand. Don't you know, I come across people every single day that can't talk, that cannot sit up. It's a blessing for me to just sit up in my bed. Look, I'm able to sit up. I'm able to talk. I'm able to look at a camera. I'm able to hold a camera. I'm able to read something. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's a blessing. So we got to be able to um, really focus in on that. We got to really be able to be grateful. So another key thing is be grateful. I get it. It's hard. It's hard out here for a lot of people, right? But in the lesson, there's a blessing. Understand that. Whenever there's a lesson, whenever there's a teaching moment, learn from it, receive from it, right? Grow from it. I've had to do it many times. I just had to do it, when my life was going in a whirlwind, like a twister, man. I was like, Lord, where are you? Where are you? Where are you? What is it that you're showing me? What is it that you want me to learn? I was looking to receive instruction from Him during that season, right? And so you just make sure you receive instruction, right? If you got a job, you had a job you hate, you don't like it, try to receive from it, try to learn from it, try to grow from it. Say, man, what can I learn from this? Man, what is it about this season right now that I should be learning, so when I get in my next season, I don't have to repeat this. I can move forward, I can move on. You know what I'm saying? So again, understand that you are made in the image of God. Once you understand that, you can start speaking to your situation. Like, look, Lord, I need more money. I don't like where I'm working. I want to be at home more with my family. Speak it. Say what you want. Lord, I need a job that pay me X amount of dollars. Okay, I know I don't have the experience. I know I'm not qualified. But hey, I know you can open up a door. I know you can do it. Talk to him. You are made in the image of God. Speak it. I'm going to find it. It's going to find me. Open up the right door. Help me meet the right people. Right? The next thing is, again, walk in your purpose. But to be able to walk in your purpose, you got to identify who you are, identify your purpose. Sit down, write down what it is you like, what it is you're passionate about, the things that you was doing as a child. Like for me, one of the things that I was doing as a child, I wasn't only playing with action figures, and I wasn't only playing in Pop Warner football, which a lot of people said I was good, right? I ain't gonna toot my horn, but I played music. I was involved in music, right? So you have to sometimes take a note, sit down, take a little notepad, and go back to the early days when you were a child. Things that you would do all the time, and things that you maybe do simultaneously, but you probably veered away from it because life, right? Life gets in the way, and you tend to forget about the things you used to do or that you enjoyed. Write it down, pray over it, ask God to help you, ask God to reveal it, ask God to make it clear, because I understand sometimes your vision can get foggy, right? Your vision can get foggy because of life, because of circumstance, because of relationship. You might be going through a bad relationship right now because of finances. You might be struggling right now mentally because of finances, or you're at a job that you hate, right? Alcohol may be dulling your focus, right? You may be distracted. You may be out in the streets running, doing, trying to do you, trying to whatever. But you got to focus, ladies and gentlemen. You got to get back focused. You got to really, really zone in on the things that you know you were purposed to do. Figure it out. Sit down, and then spend the rest of your life trying to get there. All right. So I hope this helps. Let me know what y'all think in the comments. Yeah, man, if you don't like your 9 to 5 job, definitely do this. These are definitely some good strategies. And I'll see you all on the next video. Peace.